No, but Ash, seriously, okay, your idea of like the aftermath of a butterfly bender, and everybody has to take free archetype, the Wandering Chef archetype.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could do that. We could just, we're going to play the one shot together. We're going to get on Twitch so people can watch, and we could play Pathfinder together.
You know, I actually think that's a pretty good idea.
Right?
I'd be down to run that. That would be very fun.
Yeah,
we could do that. We could do it as another charity stream. That could be
honestly, I'd be up for that. Like just a 6-hour like one shot where people could maybe manipulate the outcome of things that are coming by making donations.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Let's do it.
Tyler, we just made a decision. Congratulations.
Oh no.
We could do it around the holidays. I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I'm not making any promises.
No. I think that would be a lot of fun. That could be so much fun. And I'd be down to run a game like that.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, who wants to talk about cooking mechanics and stuff?
Let's do it.
Oh, for like the episode? You want to?
Yeah.
Was that the?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the RPGBOT.Podcast. I'm Randall James, and with me is Tyler Kampstra.
Hi, everybody.
And Ash Eli.
You don't know what you're doing. You're a bad chef, and this is a bad restaurant. God, I can't even deal with this. Okay, it's by Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, I got it. It was good.
I've never actually watched the TV show, so all I know are the memes and then people posting videos of him being nice to kids, which somehow makes up for him to being a jerk to adults.
He's actually a pretty decent guy, and from all intents and purposes, from what I can tell, he's a pretty great father. He just has a very low tolerance for bullcrap, which I can appreciate. And some of the restaurant nightmares that he goes to are with actual nightmare people who are bad people. And like he will stick up for like their workers. Like if people are mistreating their wait staff, he gets so angry about it. Like there was one episode where this couple, this nightmare couple in Arizona, were actively stealing tips from the waiters. Like they wouldn't. Yeah, like if they got tips, they were forced to hand them over. And so when Gordon Ramsay found out about that, he gave a large tip to one of the waitresses. And he said, I want you to tell the owner that he is not allowed to take this from you. This is for you. It is absolutely not for him. And the guy stole it anyway. And he was so pissed. He was so angry at the guy. It was one of the only episodes that Gordon Ramsay, he just fully gave up on the restaurant. He's like, you guys are beyond help. Good luck to you. And then he left.
And to be clear, like if you get any reasonable state labor board involved in that sort of thing, that's like, I'm losing this restaurant because I've lost so much money needing to pay back the tips I've stolen plus arrears. It's like, don't let people mess with you like that.
Yeah. I mean, also talk about another chef whose reputation took a 180 was Guy Fieri. Everybody hated that guy for so long. Even though he didn't do anything wrong.
No.
He was just enjoying himself.
Well, okay, actually, I think I can tell you where part of that came from. So he won like the first or second or third season of, I can't even remember what reality TV show it was, but it was like, I want to be
it was
the next Food Network star.
Food Network's next star, I think it was called. It was a very uncreative title.
Yeah, something like that, but very descriptive because I don't know what the title was, but that was the point of it. And people really loved the person who came in second. So I think a lot of people had kind of a like,
Yeah. Anyway. Well, I mean, what destroyed him was that New York Times review of his restaurant in Times Square. And how the guy like absolutely eviscerated his restaurant, and it was like the ultimate bougie takedown of just like a chain restaurant. And back then it was like, screw. It was back in the early 2000s when everybody was like, if something's popular, it's automatically garbage because it's eaten by the masses. Even though he was reviewing a restaurant in Times Square. Anybody who's ever been to Times Square will tell you that's the norm for Times Square.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
I will say, I love that like part of what came out of all of this is like the, Guy Fieri doing the like diners, dives, and drive-ins and dodges or whatever the heck.
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons and diners and
diners, dive-ins and diners. I can't remember.
Whatever it is, it's great.
Diners,
we'll put a link in the show
dives,
notes.
I think. Yeah.
That's it. That's the one. Okay. Which ultimately, if you think about it, makes Guy Fieri the ultimate wandering chef.
Yeah. I mean,
beautiful.
One last thing about Guy Fieri. Did you guys know that when gay marriage was made legal, he actually he was in Florida and he officiated like 100 different gay marriage weddings?
Good for him.
Yeah, because his sister was a lesbian. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like this chicken guy.
And Guy, I know you're out there
listening. He's just a wholesome guy.
Yeah.
If you want to, if you ever want to come on the show, talk about tabletop games, we're here for you. Just reach out to Dan.
Please come on to the show for us, Guy Fieri.
If this works. All right, folks.
Is this how we start getting celebrities on the podcast? We just say nice things about them for 5 minutes at the beginning of the episode?
Yeah.
Completely unrelated. Just like, hey, this person's nice.
Anyway,
I went to his
Ramsay, if you want to come yell at us about our podcast, cool too.
I went to Guy Fieri's restaurant in Las Vegas, and it was actually pretty freaking good. I'm not going to lie.
I ate breakfast a little hungover. Are you talking about the one in Paris?
No. You mean in Vegas?
No, it's okay. In the what is the name of the casino? The Parisian something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
this.
the Parisian. I don't know where it was. I can't remember. It was on the strip.
It's like in a mall. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
okay, so
it was
there
on
is
the strip.
one in the casino. I was a little hungover and it was great.
Oh no! This one you can access straight from the strip, like from outside. You don't have to go into the casino. But it's just blue collar upscale is what it is. It's really good hangover food for sure.
Yeah, I might have had a burrito with French fries on it. Hey, Tyler, do you want to talk about D&D?
Yeah, a little bit. Look, I know that I, as a person, have a terrible habit of steering every conversation towards my hobbies, but now especially feels like an appropriate time to do so.
Apologies. This is my fault. Right. I got sidetracked into one of my passions, which is food.
Which is Guy Fieri.
Food is great. I love eating.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Folks at home, let me give you the rundown. We're going to spend 5 to 10 minutes talking about D&D. We're going to spend anywhere from 40 minutes to about 7 hours talking about Pathfinder. And then somewhere in the middle, we're going on another tangent because we're going to talk more about food.
I'd apologize for that. I'd apologize for the fact that we're going to spend so little time on D&D and so much time on Pathfinder 2. But D&D's not giving us anything. I'm sorry.
Right, we haven't given folks the episode topic.
No, we totally did.
Do we?
I mean,
okay.
if you haven't
accessories.
If you haven't figured out what the topic is by now, I don't know if you've been paying attention. We're talking about food mechanics in D&D. Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
All right. Okay. Food mechanics. So we have done an episode on food long time ago. Early season 1, we did it leading into Thanksgiving. We talked about food as a storytelling device. Now we're talking about food mechanics because in the time since we've published that episode, we've actually gotten mechanics related to food in the games that we play.
Ha! Delta said food mechanics, you mean chefs? Clever. I like it.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Don't worry.
So, all right, let's discuss what we would like to see from food mechanics. Like a lot of times we go into these and there's a mechanic and we go in with gripes, but we very frequently skip over what are actually our expectations. What do we want here?
I have high standards. I want delicious in dungeon. That's what I want.
Okay.
Those who aren't aware, Delicious in Dungeon, aka Dungeon Meshi, anime, very good. If you haven't checked it out, it's on Netflix. It's very good. The dub is awesome. But it's basically like, what if we turned D&D into a cooking show? And it's fantastic. And when I watched that show, I was like, I just want to play in this game now. I want a system that has different like monster parts that I can gather, and they all give different bonuses when I eat, and there's creative dishes. I realize that's a lot to ask, but at the very least, can we get something like Monster Hunter where you kill a thing and you eat its parts and it gives you some cool bonuses? That's fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what Frog God's Tome of Alchemy was delivering, right? I feel like a lot of folks haven't picked mechanics. It up.
Yeah. Now, I will say I have seen some third-party supplements that attempt to do that. I haven't seen any of them really catch on, which feels like a shame because, that sounds like a wonderful mechanic. Like, you could have a ton of fun with that. None of them have gotten popular for whatever reason.
I think it's hard to set aside time for crafting. Like, I introduced a crafting mechanic in my Eve of Ruin game because one of my players asked for it, and finding the time to just give them a set time to like craft and stuff was challenging because it's such a solo focused endeavor that it basically means that if you're not a part of it, then the rest of the players are just kind of off watching you do this involved task. So it's like something that's better done out of game, I guess. But
exactly. Yeah, as long as everybody, the people who want to engage with it have time to engage with it outside the game.
Yeah, that's why I feel like crafting is works best in a game. Like I would say, like a West Marches kind of game where there's a lot of downtime between adventures, and then everybody gets to do a downtime thing. One player can work on a project, or that's the entire point of the game is crafting, where everybody is sort of engaged in it. I still think a
Monster Hunter game. Yeah,
I still think a Monster Hunter Pathfinder 2 game would be freaking baller.
Just lean really into beast guns.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So what I want is a little bit of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Very clever. A little bit of spice.
I want. I mean, it should get spicy from time to time. I want something that will drive quests a little bit. So I don't want it to dominate the game, but occasionally I want players to make a decision of it's like, no, I need a chicken for that recipe. I'm going in that barn.
Okay.
And then finally, I do want it to be mechanically impactful, but also not break a game. And so I think we're going to talk about several things here that, for instance, like I'm going to get temporary hit points. That's great. I feel like that's just the right level of like, it is impactful, it's meaningful, you're going to be glad you did it, but it also wasn't so powerful that like everybody needs to take feats related to being a chef.
What about belching fire onto people or throwing a stink bomb that makes people sick or want pickles?
Okay, I want that too.
Well, I have exciting news for you later on in the game.
Yes. All right. Okay, so it sounds like what I'm hearing. So we want this to be mechanically rewarding, but not so mechanically rewarding that it throws off game balance. Yeah. We want it to be satisfying in a way that justifies engaging in it. We want it to have enough depth to it that engaging the system feels meaningful, like the ingredients feel meaningful maybe. But also we don't want it to become the kind of thing where it's like, okay, one person is going to monopolize the game to do their crafting side quest or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We really need to go kill that vampire, but Jimmy over here needs us to get basil from the garden. So I guess we got to do that first.
Yeah. If it's like project based, it should be something like if it's a big thing. Well, first off, the crafting should require minimal screen time. It's just like something that you can just describe and do and have a mechanical impact. Or if it's a big project, it should be something that everybody can work on together.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Pathfinder 2 does both of those things.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's start kicking the horse and then we'll get to Pathfinder. Does that sound like a okay? Good. Everybody, let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. It is the year 2024. We've just got the new player's handbook in our hands and we're looking and we're thinking, let's talk about cooking a little bit.
They touted how there's new crafting features. Did we get new crafting features, guys?
Hang on.
No, we did not. They just took what they brought in Xanathars and just brought it into PHP. As far as
hang on.
He's about to actually us.
Actually,
you're going to ask me actual specific questions. You're going to make me look stuff up in the middle of my own podcast, sir.
Yes.
What am I, a professional?
I'm making you do your job? How could I?
Dan, cut this while I clumsily fumble through this book.
No, he's going to leave it in, Dan.
My shame for not looking this up earlier. Where are the artisan's tools in the player's handbook?
I had trouble finding them too. I believe it's after equipment.
Oh, you absolutely... Okay. All right. So in the 2024 Player's Handbook, all of the artisan's tools now have a specific list of items that you can craft using the tools. So we now have like, you know how to do this, you know how to make these things, and you can make those things pretty easily. Like there's no depth here. None. It is... No. That is all of the depth to the mechanic.
There's the chef feat, though, isn't there?
There's the chef feat. We'll get there. But in terms of actual crafting permanent items, cook's utensils allow you to create rations. That's all.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Let's give it all, because there isn't that much to give. If you have cook's utensils, you can improve food's flavor, you can detect spoiled or poisoned food, and you can craft rations.
Okay. So you can apply salt, you can sniff, and you can serve a charcuterie board. I can do those things.
Be still, my beating heart.
Yeah.
No,
so I can serve
what's funny? I saw an article recently, and I forget what the website was, but it was like, the crafting mechanics are so in depth and exactly what the 2024 rules need. I'm like, did we read the same book? I don't know what crafting rules.
Yeah,
there's nothing
who
there.
said that?
I think it was like Game Rant or something. Like,
oh God, Game
so
Rant is a rag.
Yeah,
Game Rant and Screen Rant, geez.
Yeah, they are schlocky papers, man. I'm just like, what? Everybody in the comments was blasting them. They're like, who wrote this article? Did you read the book?
Yeah, it's like ChatGPT generate for me a complimentary article about new crafting rules from my favorite TTRPG.
Exactly. I could go to ChatGPT and enter, give me some intricate crafting rules for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, and it would probably crank out something better than what this is.
It would probably just copy paste someone else's really good crafting rules.
Yeah. That is true.
So thank you all the people who have spent decades writing TTRPG content. Okay, now this is quickly turning into a different podcast. We're cooking the wrong thing right now.
Yes, we are.
All right. Okay. So the crafting rules did not help cooking. We do have the chef feat, and I played a character built around that feat and just loved it so much. It was so much fun.
So explain the chef feat.
It was good. Yeah. It gave us everything they wanted. Okay, Tyler, explain what it is, and then I want to talk about how it impacted the game, because everybody loved it. So +1 Constitution or Wisdom, already pretty great. Every time someone spends a hit die while resting, they get, I think it was a D6 or a D10 or something of additional healing. So like made short rests a little more impactful. Fantastic. And you could create a number of treats per day equal to your proficiency bonus that you could eat as a bonus action to gain a number of temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus.
It allows you to regain hit points equal to 1d8. So actually,
neither of the dice I said.
Yeah, better than you thought.
Yeah. I think I said 1d6 or 1d10. So if you did average.
Oh, I thought you said 1d6 or 1d4.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Regardless, it was 1d8. Thank you for correcting me.
Okay, so Jungle Skog, our bugbear, what kind of treats did he make for his friends?
Sausage. Always sausage. In Icewind Dale, where plant life is functionally non-existent except for some very dead trees.
So it feels like if any game where the chef feat is really going to shine, it's going to be Icewind Dale, where there's actual survival mechanics. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like every single time they killed any kind of creature that wasn't a humanoid, and mainly because I had to like look at them real hard.
We thought about it.
That creature immediately became sausage.
Yeah. We had a brief... We had a brief debate when we started fighting awakened walruses, and we're like, is this okay?
Did you make
walrus sausage?
Did you make,
they absolutely made walrus sausage.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Did you make Draugr sausage? Or something?
I don't think we did. No undead, no humanoids.
Boo.
Yeah.
I would want to see what a cold walker sausage would be like.
Yeah. I was trying to convince them, like, you got the walrus, we might as well take some of this lard and let's do a confit, huh? Like, let's get something going. But
Skog was not that refined of a chef. He knew what he was about, and it was about a high protein diet.
Yeah.
Here's your sausage.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's a bun?
We're okay. We're already getting excited. We're talking about the chef feat. Briefly, let's talk about, like, if I have cooking utensils, the thing that I can do is create rations. Tyler, what's a ration?
I swear, if you read the description of trail rations in the player's handbook, it is a charcuterie board. It is sausages, cheeses, nuts, crackers, maybe jam.
It's a Lunchable.
That's actually pretty accurate to what rations would be in the Middle Ages, although it was usually just bread and cheese is what you got. Sometimes on very special occasions, you could get some meat, but meat was a luxury item in the Middle Ages.
Yeah. And you to be expected to forage as you traveled too. So this is a charcuterie board.
And if you're thinking, that doesn't sound too bad, bread and cheese.
I'll
remind you that the way you got most of your protein if you weren't having cheese were the worms that were in your bread.
Gross.
Yep.
or hardtack, which is like just gnaw this part for a while.
Oh god, hardtack. Yeah, if you're ever at a Civil War reenactment, I think they let you try hardtack. It will break your teeth. It's so tough. It's like, oh god.
Yeah. Okay, so your Lunchable that you described sounds a lot better than probably what was actually happening, but that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Then in the lifestyle rules, we're also given the description for like different standards of living and the cost associated with them as well. Are those rations?
Unclear. Like, honestly, rations are expensive enough that a big range of the lifestyles you can choose just can't afford rations on a daily basis. So I don't know what you're eating, but it's miserable. Yeah, the lifestyle mechanics and like the prices for buying meals and stuff are listed in the player's handbook, and they have no tangible effect on gameplay. So like, it might be fun to say like, oh yeah, our characters have like hundreds of thousands of gold, nothing to spend on. Sure, we live luxurious, noble lifestyles and get exactly nothing for any of that.
I've never really monitored rations except when the players are in a place where far from any town for an extended period, isolated, especially in a hostile wilderness. Then I'm like, okay, we're going to track rations now.
Yeah. So let's see, we've got meals, we've got the lifestyle rules. I think we covered the lifestyle rules pretty heavily in the downtime episode, so we're not going to dig into those. They really have not changed. We talked about the chef feat, and really, like, in terms of mechanics you're going to use in your day-to-day campaign, that's really it. That's all we have officially in 5e, even with the 2024.
Excuse me? Everybody, and I mean every campaign I've ever played, and Ash is going to back me up on this, has used the battle prawn rules, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
That's accurate. Yeah, I don't know why you would think that, Tyler. Always use the battle prawn.
Well,
how would you skip this?
Well, Ash, run more games for me, I guess.
I want to, but you're always busy.
I know. All right. Okay. In Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, the very first adventure, one of the challenges you can engage in during the like night festival thing is called the Battle Prawn Challenge. Now, this is D&D Iron Chef. So like, you can't look at this and be like, oh yeah, this is a fun mechanic I'm going to use in all of my games. Like, it's a fun little mini game that you're going to engage in once and everyone will have a good chuckle, and that'll be that. The premise of the challenge is the party is in a race against another group, and you need to prepare some greenery and also kill an 8-foot long shrimp in as fast as possible.
Yeah,
it's a race.
It's quite terrifying, the shrimp.
Yeah,
quite big.
They call them jagged koi prawns, and they're like as significantly larger than a person. And boy, look at those legs. Horrifying. Yeah. They are water bugs, and I try not to think about that too much. But the like killing the prawns isn't super hard, and then the like chopping the greens is just do 15 slashing damage to an inanimate object. Can you do that at level 1?
It's the DC 10 to hit an inanimate object. Is that right?
It's usually AC 5, but for some reason they do have AC 10, 15 hit points, immunity to several damage types, and you can't use acid, fire, lightning, necrotic, or radiant damage because it'll spoil the vegetables.
That makes sense. That checks out.
Unsurprisingly, doing radiation damage to vegetables, not great for them.
Yeah.
It really sucks the nutrients out of them.
You don't have to do the 15 damage in one hit. It doesn't specify that. Like, you can do multiple slices if need be.
Yeah. That's how I like to cut my vegetables too, actually.
Multiple slices, not just you just
I never
don't just want to take a great axe and
yeah, I'm gonna you get a slap chop. But I'm pretty sure that's an uncommon or rare item. So
I buy that. Yeah.
Okay. And with that, I think we've successfully covered 5e.
Yeah.
Now let's get to the meat of this episode.
All right. All right. Pathfinder 2. There's some cool stuff here. Okay. So alchemical food is going to feature heavily in this episode because this is primarily the cooking mechanic that players are going to interact with, because unsurprisingly, like, even if food is really good, it's not literally magic until you start putting magic science in it.
Mm-hmm. Equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
Or MSG.
I don't think MSG gives you temporary hit points, bud.
Okay, fine. You know what? You're right.
According to my friends who are allergic to MSG, it does the opposite of that.
Yeah.
All right.
They should try to get resistance.
Actually,
maybe that's my problem. I have no resistance to MSG. Yummy.
All right. So alchemical food, first introduced in Treasure Vault, which massively expanded the roster of alchemical items available in the game. Like, honestly, Treasure Vault did a lot of great things, but I think the thing I like the best about it is how much it just loved alchemists.
Also, probably the best supplement Pathfinder 2 has ever put out. Don't at me.
There's a lot of competition for that, but yeah.
I still think it's my favorite just because of all of the cool, weird, niche items that they added, which I wish D&D would do more of. Like, D&D adds like maybe 1 or 2 for every supplement to items, and they're all just like, it's a cool new weapon or a wand. But I mean, Pathfinder 2 added like monsters in a jar. Like, give me that stuff. or contracts or alchemical food. Like, it's just cool stuff.
Yeah. All right. So alchemical food appears in Treasure Vault, and there's a few new entries in the Tiansha character guide. We did record a review for that book.
But
it's very positive.
Unsalvageable
audio. Just Riverside ate it. Like, so
we'll do it again.
Yeah. Try and repeat all the nice things we said.
But better this time.
The short answer is, if you're looking for what our opinion on the book was, it's a great book. You should get it. If you don't have it, get it. It's great.
At some point I mentioned there was a link in the show notes.
Yeah, probably. All right. And then there's a handful of one-offs in various adventures. So like the vast majority of the alchemical food you're going to find Treasure Vault. So like start there. It's all the Treasure Vault stuff is on Archives of Nethys. As of now, the Tiansha character guide has not made it onto Archives of Nethys yet. Like, it's a mostly volunteer team, if I understand things correctly. So things take time. We're patient people. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. like, obviously, we're not going to go through every item because we'd need several episodes and be very boring. But
keep a lookout. I am working on a article that is going to review all of the alchemical items. I mean, all of the alchemical food items at some point, because I'm working on a Wandering Chef archetype guidebook. So look for that on the website.
I'm very excited for that. Yeah, I learned some cool things here. There's a coffee item, and that can come in various flavors and give you item bonuses to different skills depending on what flavor you get. Pumpkin spice gives you a bonus to occultism checks. So
I love that because it's kind of a shout out to hipster Wiccan people who love pumpkin spice. It's a cute little joke, tongue in cheek, that I love.
Yeah, pumpkin spice occultism.
Yes.
No, what's funny about that is I actually dated a girl who was a Wiccan whose favorite drink was pumpkin spice. So
I mean, it's
stereotypes exist for a reason, y'all. They exist for a reason.
All right. Yeah, pumpkin spice and cults. Name a more iconic duo, I guess. So, in general, though, alchemical food, a lot of what the items do is it's going to give you an item bonus on various things. And frequently, these item bonuses are fairly long-lasting. So, like, they're a great combat buff. They're great for out of combat. Like, there's an item that anytime you repair an item while you are under the effects of the food, you just repair an additional 5 hit points worth of stuff. So, like, if you're using a shield constantly, that's fantastic. Can save you a ton of time. Real nice. So there's a lot of good benefits here, but you do kind of have to hunt through the various items and find what you want.
Yeah, so some of the alchemical, like with a lot of things in Pathfinder 2, they're very specific alchemical foods. So like, it's not going to be the case where every alchemical food is going to be useful to everyone in every situation. You really have to figure out, will this work for my build and in this specific situation? And also the thing to keep in mind is, since, like Tyler mentioned, alchemical foods use item bonuses, you have to be careful about stacking those with other things. Like, for instance, armor runes, they won't stack. So if you eat an alchemical food that gives you like a +1 item bonus to your AC, I don't believe that's or to saves.
It does not.
Yeah, it doesn't stack with your with an armor rune. But hey, it works if you're an unarmed squishy wizard, so that's something.
Well, yeah, that's true. Wizards will typically put armor runes on explorer's clothing or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they'll just cast mage armor, one of the two. But regardless, yeah, the item bonuses don't stack, which is kind of annoying.
But if you can't afford it and you have this, just use that.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's a thing where it's not going to be relevant in every situation, and maybe not throughout the entire campaign, but it just gives you options, which I appreciate. I also want to call out some other cool items. Sour Bomb is one that we were talking about earlier that I love. It's in the Tiansha guide.
Mm-hmm.
It basically, you throw a mixture of vinegar and like pickle juice at people. And if they succeed, the creature is unaffected beyond a strong craving for pickles. And I love that. If they critically fail, they're sickened too, and they are fleeing for one round from the smell, which... And oh yeah, Randall, I remember when I asked you if you wanted to breathe fire on people?
I did, yes.
Numbing spice exhalation allows you to do that. You can also give it to another creature, and it uses your class DC, not theirs. And it scales off of your level. So if you give this to like an NPC hireling, he's like, "Here, Bob, eat this fire gum, and then just mow our enemies down."
It's like, we're going to defend this castle wall. Each of you guards, I have made you this. Please drink it.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically burning hands, but I mean, you can give it to a familiar, or you can give it to
just a random pet.
Yeah, or just like I said, Bob the peasant, who you took with you literally just to spray fire on people and nothing else.
Okay, imagine like finding a chicken coop and like pouring that into the water for a chicken coop and then having a bunch of chickens just run.
Yes, that's a new thing. I'm just going to carry a bunch of chickens with me in a bag. I'm going to feed them this exhalation powder.
Is this the new bag of rats?
Yeah, and then dump them out onto the ground and be like, "Chickens, attack!"
No, you do, you throw feed or worms on the bad guy, so then they're all like, "Ha ha."
Okay, now that is only one time per alchemical item. Still pretty great.
Still great, yeah. You get it once, it's still great.
So I talked about item bonuses. We talked about item bonuses. Obviously, not all of these things are purely defensive and utility in nature. There are some great offensive options, and there are a couple of feats. We'll get to those later. There's chewing gum that you can blow a bubble with and hit creatures in a cone in front of you and debuff their speed for a full minute, which in a game where mobility is super huge, that's a huge debuff.
Because the gum is sticky?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I know what people are going to say. How is this different from just elixirs and potions? Damn it, they're interesting. That's why. Okay? Don't spoil the fun. It's flavor, and it's flavor that's embedded into the game, not just something that you just have to think up yourself and I guess I'm having fun imagining this. It's supported by the actual writing, and that's fun.
It's the difference between spending the time to make a very nice, double espresso in the morning and cracking a Red Bull. One of these things is food, and the other is absolutely
an elixir.
Yeah. One of them is a boring, I drink a potion, get a thing. Cool. Good for you. You're like 90% of other characters. The other is, I'm eating flaming gum to belch out fire. And that's just more fun, okay?
Yeah.
Stop ruining things.
Yeah. But Red Bull is an elixir that gives me wings, right? Isn't that?
Actually, in this game, it's cloud buns that give you wings.
That's true. Cloud buns are pretty great.
Yeah. Cloud buns are like these sticky buns on the Tianxia guide that you eat them and they make you fly. And it's great, and I love them.
I want that even if I don't get to fly afterwards.
Yeah.
The thing about it that's dangerous about playing a cooking-focused character in Pathfinder 2 is you're going to be hungry all the time, because some of the food in here, the art they did, it looks so scrumptious. I also just really like I want their chilled fire noodles. Those look delicious. And then there's ghost fowl porridge, which is awesome, and I love it. It's just a porridge bowl with a ghost chicken floating above it. Oh my God,
it is.
It's so incredible. I love it so much.
Wow. Now, unfortunately, those are magical foods, not alchemical foods, but you can still craft them.
Yeah.
You can't do it as a wandering chef, but you can just use the normal crafting rules. All right. Now, let's get into...
I think wandering chefs can.
Can they?
I'm pretty sure it specifies that you can also craft magical morsels.
Oh God, I hope so.
Let me look at it. You continue while I look at this.
Yeah. All right. So these are consumables. All of these items are consumables. And like any good RPG, there will be level appropriate scaled consumables that will be absurdly expensive. So if you find them in the wild, it's very tempting to turn them into vendor trash. And if you make them yourself or are given them or whatever, it's very tempting to just hoard them to the end of the game and then die. Like, it's the classic Final Fantasy problem. You get through the final boss and you still have every single consumable item you've ever found.
Yeah, I have 99 elixirs now. I found another one and I can't pick it up, but I shouldn't drink this either. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. That would be absurd. You walk back to town, you sell it, and you come back and you pick it up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, according to the verbiage on Wandering Chef, it says you gain the quick alchemy benefits, but can only use it to create consumables, and the consumables must be alchemical food, such as those presented on page 104 to 105. There are no alchemical, quote unquote, alchemical foods on 105. So,
yeah, there are.
Wait, no, you're right. Never mind.
Yeah.
My bad. But
okay. I see what you tried to do there.
I'd count it. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I mean, the distinction feels academic.
Very arbitrary, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So consumables, they're very expensive. Realistically, most of these items aren't good enough that you're going to buy a high-level version of these items. Like, you might buy lower-level versions once you're high-level and they're functionally, very, very cheap. But if you're going through these items on a regular basis, they're going to be a very serious resource cost, just like scrolls, potions, anything else of the sort. So realistically, if you want to lean into these mechanics a whole lot, you're going to need to find a way to make them less expensive, which is either crafting or you go for Wandering Chef, or you just play an alchemist. But what fun is that when you can be a Wandering Chef?
Let's talk about Wandering Chef.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it.
So Wandering Chef may be my favorite new archetype that Tianxia released. It's probably my favorite archetype in the entire game. Just because it's very fun. But yeah, you basically get the new quick alchemy benefits that the remastered alchemist gets, which means you get 4 versatile vials that you can use. But like I said, you can only use it to create alchemical foods. And so if you're looking like what foods can I craft, in the Tianxia guide, alchemical cooking is not considered part of that. That's specifically for alchemists. So it's only the alchemical food. So if it doesn't have alchemical as a tag, you can't craft it. I mean, you can craft it, but it's not part of your quick alchemy feature. But yeah, it's fun. Like, you can get some cool stuff. There's more in the treasure vault. But as you get higher level, you get some more cool features, like you get morning side dishes, which I highly recommend you take if you're planning on investing in this archetype, since so many good feats later on depend on you having morning side dishes. And it's just a good feature anyway, because it allows you to get access to advanced alchemy benefits from the Player Core 2 and allows you to create 5 alchemical food consumables during your daily preparations.
And if you're wondering, like, well, how many alchemical foods are actually out there? So I'm looking at Archives of Nethys now. So Archives of Nethys doesn't have the Tianxia content yet, but just from Treasure Vault, there are, I believe, 45 different alchemical foods available.
Yeah.
So this is richly populated.
Tianxia adds 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 new items. But if you talk to your DM and say, "Can I make magical morsels too?" There's also 3 new magical morsels. Yeah, I would be willing to grant that to a Wandering Chef if they're really leaning into the whole cooking thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe not as quick alchemy. But I like, maybe I just give you like the formulas for some of them. That feels good.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, higher levels, you can also like override. So some alchemical foods have like set DCs for what you're going to do. If you're leaning into the Wandering Chef, there's a feat that you should pick up that allows you to override that. And it uses your class DC. So if you plan on using that at all, very useful.
Yeah. The offensive items like that gum I mentioned and a couple other things have a built-in fixed DC, and the DCs are generally pretty low. So overriding it with your own class DC is huge.
That being said, you can just ignore that and just pick alchemical items that just give buffs to your friends rather than as offensive stuff. But yeah, and then once you get to higher levels, there's a really cool feature, their capstone feature at level 14 called Regional Specialty, which allows you to infuse your food with specific elements, one of the 5 elements. So wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And they all do different things. So you kind of have to think ahead, which is very cool. So wood it cures persistent bleed and gives you a +3 item bonus against disease and poison. Fire reduces your clumsy condition and gives you +3 to saves against being doomed or frightened. So again, pay attention to the saves and armor value, because that's not going to stack. Earth reduces the drain condition and gives you +3 against saves to being enfeebled. metal, stupefied, cure stupefied gives you a bonus to being stupefied. And then for some reason, water reduces the frightened condition and then gives you bonuses to deafened or drained. It's very weird.
Yeah.
But so the one thing I will point out is that when it comes to stacking bonuses, like they don't stack, but it will take the higher of the two bonuses. So if your armor rune is less, +3 is pretty good. So if you only have like a +1 to your save, it's still worth it to use this because it will be better. But yeah, the Wandering Chef is great. I'm gonna be doing a whole guidebook on Wandering Chef soon, so look out for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm excited. I might end up playing it.
Nice. I really want to play Tanuki, Wandering Chef. Who that's his whole gig. That's his whole shtick. Maybe he's a monk. But he mostly just does cooking and nothing else.
It does seem pretty cool. Yeah, I did notice one of the feats that the Wandering Chef has. One of the limitations of classes that depend on quick alchemy and advanced alchemy is you have a daily number of resources, and once those are done, they're done, and all of those items expire at the end of your next long rest, so that you're not stacking up resources. Now, Wandering Chef has a feat that lets you keep some of those items, specifically by like pickling them, soaking them in alcohol, or preserving them in some other way.
Yeah,
love that flavor. But also the mechanics of like, if I'm not adventuring for a day, I can accumulate some extra gear, and that's going to pay off later.
Yeah, it's called food preservation, and you can get it at level 6 really, really early. So yeah, Tyler's right. It's a great little feature. It allows you can also take it multiple times if you wanted to. Or not take it multiple times. It just increases automatically when you're crafting. When your crafting expertise increases. So basically, it allows you to preserve one item.
Cooking lore.
Yeah, one extra item per day if you don't use it. So rather than it expire when you do your daily preparations, you can just stock that for later. And then the max number of items you can do that increases by 1 every time your expertise goes up.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, to a maximum of 5 at legendary, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All of those morning side dishes.
I feel like
you can just create 5 every day and bank 5. So if you have a lot of downtime, you can make like 20 side dishes that are just good forever.
At the end of the day, it's like, I didn't use all of this stuff. Great. I'm carrying over the 2 or the 3, and which is awesome.
Now I think that there's a maximum number. That
I realized what I said. Yeah, no, you can just have, but Tyler's right. If you have a day where you're not adventuring, nothing goes to waste. So it's good.
Yeah. I also really love, like, in our games constantly, I have folks calling out, it's like, who would ever take that lore? Like, I don't have that lore skill. Nobody has the lore skill. The fact that you get this benefit for crafting or cooking lore really makes it worth investing in that lore skill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, what did we run into recently? Hill lore?
Yes, exactly. They were exploring and they got a benefit to reconnoiter. I would let them roll hill lore if anybody had it. I don't know if this surprises listeners to the show. Nobody had it.
Yeah, cool. One of the things that I've done with lores is that, like, if a player is trying to make a recall knowledge, I will say, if you think you have an applicable lore that would apply to the situation, you can sell me on it. And then if I like their argument, I'll be like, okay, I buy that. I'll let you roll it.
I mean, that feels almost intended rules as written, right?
Yeah. Well, like, for instance...
But people shouldn't forget to do it.
Yeah. No, for instance, one of my players, and if they're listening, they're going to be like, oh, God, I'm an idiot. So one of my players on Saturday in a Pathfinder 2 game, they came across some griffins, and he wanted to do a recall knowledge check, and he said, what kind of check would that be? I was like, nature check. Do you have a lore that would apply to this? He's like, I don't know. I have forest, but I'll just roll nature. I'm just like, dude, forest totally would have applied to this, but sure, right? I didn't tell him that. But the thing about it is, like, that he didn't realize that if he rolled forest, the DC's lower. So
yeah. That's actually worth calling out. This is just general. If you're a Pathfinder 2 player who's never read Adventures, constantly different skills have different DCs, and so choosing the right skill to roll is actually gonna have a benefit. Versus, I feel like and that's why people are like, why would I ever use lore? Lores are good for lowering DCs because depending on the lore you have, if it's more applicable than just a general skill, it's going to lower the DC. Sometimes by a substantial amount. So, like, a forest lore in that situation reduces the DC by like 2. And if he had, like, specifically avian or griffin lore,
specifically, then it would be like 5 lower. So it's a lot. And remember that every one in every direction in Pathfinder 2 is one additional point more likely that you critically succeed on. So it's useful to lower DCs as much as you can.
Yeah, 5% more likely to critically succeed, 5% more likely to succeed.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk a little bit about alchemical cooking feats before we get into cooking rituals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's only 3 of these, and they are exclusive to the alchemist, which honestly feels like huge shame. Sorry, there's 4 of them. Exclusive to the alchemist. The wandering chef doesn't get access to these, which is lame.
I would say if you're a DM, and maybe they'll put a rod out for this, I feel like wandering chef should be able to have access to those as well.
Yeah. The thing where you can give people whatever item and they can breathe fire, that's a level 4 alchemist feat. Fermenting liquors, which is just a garbage tier healing option. Glitter crystals, which is fine but not super interesting. Sour bomb is the one you care about. So level 10 feat, when you make a bomb, you can add ingredients into it that make it into a stink bomb in addition to its other effects. And when you hit creatures with it, if they fail a fortitude save, they're sickened. Critically fail, they're sickened 2 and fleeing for 1 round. So this is a massive improvement for bomber builds. Even if you don't care one bit about food, this feat is amazing.
Yeah, no, sour bomb is so good. Even just the flavor of it is hilarious. So
yeah.
It's a little stinky, slightly spicy, and I love it.
Yeah. All right, should we talk about those cool cooking rituals? Because they're neat.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's start with the one that we actually intend to talk about, and then I'm going to bring a couple others that I'm going to argue these are cooking rituals, and they're weird. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the big one that we should talk about is Fortifying Brew, which was the one that released, I believe, before Tianxia. You actually get this for free as a wandering chef, depending on the feat you take. I think it's which ritual is it? Hold on. Yeah, Feast Planner, which you can get at level 10.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, so Fortifying Brew, the way that it is written, is you're going to make, if you want, a tea for your friends, or it could be ale or Red Bull. I'm not here to limit you. You can do whatever you want. On a critical success, you get a 4th rank Cleanse Affliction, Clear Mind, and Sound Body. So basically, let me wipe away diseases. If you have any mental conditions, I can wipe those things away. I can heal you. And on critical success, 20 temporary hit points for 12 hours and a +2 status bonus to saves against disease and poisons. So it's basically, hey,
great.
You've had a rough day. Sit down and whatever ails you, let me make everyone feel better.
Yeah.
Okay. On a success, it's like a critical success, except for you get 10 temporary hit points and you don't get the status bonus. On a failure, it just tastes bad. So nothing bad happens mechanically for the ritual. You just you sip, you try to drink the beer and it's oh, this tastes like a sour ale and I don't like it. Basically, it winds up tasting like a farmer's ale.
Mm-hmm.
You get that real yeasty flavor and just ugh. And if you're a person at home who likes those kinds of ales, they didn't do it right to make
critical failure is brutal, though.
It is, yeah. No, tell folks.
Your attempt to craft a drink resulted in something more akin to poison. The drinkers become sickened for and can't reduce the condition for 12 hours.
Whoa, jeez.
Yeah. So, but think about it. Literally, you are out of commission in a world full of magic and magical cures. You are waylaid for 12 hours.
Right.
So hungover. Yeah. Sanitize your equipment, folks.
It's important.
So the thing is that as a wandering chef, this changes a little bit in the fact that instead of making a drink for people, you're making a sumptuous meal and you're doing it by yourself, which means you don't get help from other people. I mean, other people can, but they don't have to. And instead what's happening is nature spirits are helping you create this feast, which I love.
We did an episode where we talked about rituals across TTRPGs. We talked a lot about the PF2 rituals. Just to remind folks at home, in case you don't remember, you haven't listened to that episode.
So the way the rituals work... Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I thought you wanted me to...
You got it.
So the way rituals work in Pathfinder 2 is there's a primary caster and there's a number of secondary casters. Usually you need a secondary caster for each of the qualifying skill checks that are listed. So for instance, for Fortifying Brew, you need alchemical lore or a related lore, crafting, and society. So you'd need at minimum 3 people to assist. And then the primary caster makes one of the checks that is listed. You do have to be of a certain train level in some skills. So like if I wanted to do society check on Fortify and Blue, I would need to be expert at least in society to do it. But go ahead.
No, I mean, it is worth saying that like if nobody meets the requirements, you can bring NPCs in. It doesn't have to be player characters that are doing this. So you could literally have one player and a bunch of folks from the village come in if that's what it took to hit the qualifications to actually use some ritual.
Yeah. For example, I had one of my players was trying to revive a dead tree in the center of town that symbolized the goddess that looked over their country, and they were trying to reclaim. The player was trying to reclaim the throne of the emperor. They were like the heir to the throne, and they wanted to provide hope to people who were suffering under tyranny, and that's why the tree had died. So they cast plant growth. For plant growth, you need someone with farming lore. None of the players had farming lore. So they found an old woman who was an expert in farming lore, and she helped them with that. So yeah, the way it works is each of the secondary casters makes a check, usually like a normal DC for the level of the spell. And then depending on if they succeed or fail, they give bonuses or penalties to the final check that the primary caster makes. So if this sounds familiar, it's sort of similar to the resurrection ritual that Matt Mercer has in Critical Role, where everybody sort of contributes to a thing, and based on how apt he thinks it is, he'll set a higher or lower DC, and if they meet it, it reduces the DC by 1 or 2, and then he just rolls an unmodified thing. So it's very similar, and it's a great system. Interact with rituals more; they're fun. You can give them to players as you see fit, and they're very cool.
Yeah.
And so I think it's worth to say, like, well, why is Feast Planner for the Wandering Chef so special? As the Feast Planner, you actually get to make the rolls as both the primary and the secondary caster. So you imagine, you're just sitting there whipping together a meal. It's like, you folks all look terrible. Don't worry, I gotcha.
Yeah. And you also get to use crafting or cooking lore for both checks.
Yeah.
So it's something you're going to be good at anyway.
Yes.
I would say if you're using cooking lore, if I would lower the DC than if you were using crafting lore. So or crafting, but that's just me.
Okay, so Fortifying Brew and Feast Planner as an extension of it is awesome, and it's a lot of fun. That's actually maybe not the ritual that we got most excited about when we were reading the Unjust World Guide. Tyler, what was that one called?
All right, so the one we're actually excited about is called Butterfly Bender. It has nothing to do with bending butterflies. No. Honestly, butterflies really don't factor in here. It's mostly just you go on a bender as a ritual.
I think the reason it's called Butterfly Bender is because, at least from what I can tell from the art,
my stomach feels funny afterwards.
No, they're serving alcohol out of like this butterfly thing, this statue. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going on there because that doesn't look like alcohol. Those look like scrolls or something. But that woman sure is holding a ladle.
I'm not sure. Maybe someone who knows more than us can take a look at it and tell us what we missed.
So I just want to read the first couple of sentences of this description. So we're like, we can't sell it without reading the text. You got
do it.
Sometimes the problems in your life are too oppressive. Sometimes you have a case you need to crack and you have no idea where to start. When you've exhausted all options and willpower, you might as well just get drunk and call it a night. Yeah.
It's so good.
But it works. That's read Critical Success and Success. It works.
All right.
When things in life are bad and can really make you mad.
So there's a list of things. Like there's 5 bullet points. We'll get to the bullet points. On a critical success, you pick 2 options from the above list, and the GM then gives you a bonus third option. So like you get 3 things from the list and you lose everything else.
Yeah, that's very, very important.
Yeah. On a success, you pick 2 things to get and then lose the other 3. On a failure, you get 1, lose the other 4, so on. So on the list, your dignity, a common item which would be helpful for the current challenge, a new friend or connection, a useful piece of information, or convenient opportunity. So like you can get some like useful stuff in here, but you can lose your dignity, all of your equipment, an existing...
One day, you get it back. You
get it back after spending a day to go collect it all.
Yeah.
A friend can refuse to speak to you for 1 day. A -4 penalty to your next recall knowledge check. There's no cooldown on that. Like, You could just be in the middle of a dungeon years later and have to think for the first time and get a -4 penalty. Or you could lose a bunch of money, or you could just accidentally find a bunch of money.
So we love this ritual so much that I pitched an idea to the guys that might turn into something. We're not promising anything, but it could be fun. I had an idea for a one-shot where you guys critically failed this butterfly bender thing, and it's sort of like a hangover situation where you wake up and you have to figure out what the hell happened last night. And everybody is level 5 and it gets free archetype and has to be a wandering chef. So the critical failure is you pick 2 options from the list and the GM gives you one of them. So I let you guys pick 2 and then you lose everything else. And you have 1 day to figure out what the hell happened.
Oh, okay. This is an old cut, but it absolutely checks out. Delta in the chat. Recall knowledge. Where are my car keys?
Dude, where's my car?
Yeah. Where's your car, dude?
So that's the premise for the one shot. Now, if we can find time, I know Tyler and Randall's schedules are crazy, but we talked about if you weren't listening to maybe Dan kept it in the beginning, maybe we can stream it on Twitch like we did with Baldur's Gate, a 6-hour session for charity, and you guys can donate to add some weird wacky shenanigans. Like maybe you just there's a tiger now, we have to figure out why there's a tiger in our bedroom, kind of like a hangover.
Honestly, this sounds wonderful. And
does it belong to Mike Tyson?
He shows up.
Hey guys. Okay. So we are running short on time. There's a lot of really cool food-related rituals.
I get one from the list, and then we can keep going. I want to talk about corpse communion for just a moment.
Is that a cooking ritual?
I'm going to argue it is a cooking ritual. You take a corpse that has died no longer than a month ago. You season it a bit, and you eat it, and then wow.
Wait, is this, when you say a corpse, is this like a lutefisk situation, or like what? Or is this like a person's corpse?
No, you understand exactly what's happening.
I don't want to.
And then, a secret, just a thing that people know is revealed to you afterwards. Maybe this was a bad idea. Maybe that's the thing that was revealed to you.
No.
I don't think that's a secret.
This reminds me, anybody who's played Divinity Original Sin 2, if you play an elf in that game, elves are really weird in Divinity Original Sin 2. One of their things that they practice is they practice respectful cannibalism, which is like it's ritual cannibalism for people who died, as a way to honor their spirit. But one of the things you can do as an elf in that game, you can find random body parts from dead bodies, and it allows you to eat them. If you eat them, it gives you a little scene that gives you a flash of that person's either last memory or their most important memory. It's a really cool system. That's why I love Larian so much.
Man, they managed to make cannibalism kind of neat.
Yeah, they actually made it kind of cool.
Mechanically impactful. Granted, also, prions also managed to make it mechanically impactful in the real world. So, okay, that was the ritual that I wanted to talk about, because I went looking through the rituals to find cooking rituals, and I found a few, and about half the ones I found, I was like, oh, technically, yes. Oh.
That's appropriate.
I also want to talk about one more.
Okay.
The other one that the last one they added in Tansha was the bonding meal. It's a weird one, but basically it allows you. Okay, so I'm just going to read the description. Many grow up and spend their lives eating with others, and doing so binds them to their families, communities, cultures. Food can form long-lasting bonds, and with a bit of extra work, those bonds can be shared. You prepare a meal for a small gathering of up to 10 close friends, enough people to comfortably eat together at one table or in a circle. As you collect and prepare the food, you call upon the spirits of home and memory as they work through and guide you with perfectly create a dish that emotionally connects you to a place of your past. Perhaps your mother's cooking when you were a child, or the way you and your comrades in arms cooked rations together when you fought in the war. But what's weird about this is it basically just allows people to just remember the same thing that you remembered, and give deception and diplomacy, get a bonus to deception and diplomacy checks to convince people that they are from the place where the meal originated from. It's so weird and specific, but I kind of love it because it's so dumb.
I I don't know that I would spend resources to learn this, but it's kind of neat. It's neat
funny.
that it's there.
It's cute. I don't think it's useful for anything, but it's funny.
All right. Okay. So before we call it, I have one more fun thing that I want to hit. So I was handed a very nice book at Gen, which I'm going to pull off the shelf behind. I'm holding up a visual gag, which is super useful for people listening to the audio. Yeah. So I met the folks from Mage Hand Press, and they handed me a copy of Valda's Spire of Secrets, which, naturally I cracked open, and surely by coincidence, hang on, let me find the page number. Table contents. So, surely by coincidence, I flipped open the book and landed on the page with all of the wizard subclasses, flipped through them, and there's some really fun stuff here. So, what caught my eye first was the School of Gastronomy, which, as you might guess, it's a cooking-themed wizard.
That's fantastic.
It really is. So, they get ability. Their first feature is called Sous Chef, and it's basically there for flavor. But the second one is Monster Dish. You prepare the corpse of a creature that you've killed within the past 24 hours, or you can stretch the duration with gentle repose. But basically, you kill a monster, you cook it, and you and a number of creatures get temporary hit points equal to 1d6 times the creature's CR.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
I want that. I want to play this wizard. I'm just going to put so much temporary hit points on my party. You eventually get to cast Hero's Feast for free once per day, and Hero's Feast costs an amount of gold that even in 5e, it becomes prohibitive to cast it several times. So, you're just making your party super durable, giving them tons of extra hit points, and you're eating monsters. And that feels pretty cool.
That does feel, that's a super Senshi move from Delicious in Dungeon. He would totally do something like that. I found a few homebrew classes for Gourmand. Some of them are better than others, but I just like the concept. More people should do that. Cooking in D&D can be fun, y'all.
Yeah. And describing food to your players is also a ton of fun. So, don't just walk in and be like, you're in a tavern. They're having sandwiches. Describe a sandwich. Make people hungry. I dare you.
If you're also interested in actual real life stuff, I believe D&D has released a few books about, 2 books about cooking dishes inspired by D&D. Hero's Feast. That's the one. And they also have some cocktails, I believe, in there.
They do. They're great.
I'll also shout out a YouTube channel. How to Drink has done a few videos where he creates cocktails inspired by D&D or Critical Role. It's very fun. Really well done YouTube video. I believe Binging with Babish has done some D&D really cooking as well. So it's out there.
Yeah.
Adventuring equipment. So I'm reading out of Hero's Feast for a moment. Adventuring equipment. Cheese grater. Cocktail shaker and muddler. Dutch oven or heavy bottom pan. Food processor, measuring cups and spoons. Yada, yada, yada. I want to try.
That doesn't sound like stuff I would have in the Middle Ages. Boo.
No, a cocktail muddler? Absolutely you would. Are you kidding me?
It's a mortar and pestle.
Yeah.
It's literally a mortar and pestle.
No, I'm going to carry something I can bludgeon somebody with, but also I can really get in there and smash some mint. I think the most important thing that I could tell you at this moment is that we do have a question of the week. This week, our question of the week comes to us from @ConsciousB. Would you let a small player character wield heavy weapons without disadvantage at your table? Think of
the poops and giggles.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. No question asked.
Yes.
No, and how dare you?
Boo! Do you hate fun?
No, being small hasn't been meaningful in 5th edition since the 2014 rules dropped. They need to make being small interesting. And then I would be like, no, you can't use big two-handed weapons because you got a benefit for being small. In 3rd edition, you got a huge bonus to stealth. You got a bonus to all of your attacks. You got a bonus to AC, all these things to make up for not getting to use bigger weapons and getting smaller damage dice. But we don't have that in 5e. So it's just fine. They can use longbows even though they're 5 feet tall. They can use 6 foot long greatswords even though they're a 2.5 foot tall gnome. Who cares?
I would understand.
Yeah.
I agree with you. In systems where there's advantage to being small, not letting them use bigger weapons makes sense because otherwise they become ridiculous. But yeah, you're right. 5e has no penalty. you would think their speed would be reduced, but I think it's only dwarves that get reduced speed. Am I wrong?
I think actually, I don't think even dwarves have reduced speed anymore. Just everybody gets 30 feet.
Oh, well, yeah, the 2024 rules, yeah. So they even got rid of that. So yeah, I see no problem with it.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. It reminds me of when I play Final Fantasy 14 and there's a Lalafell, which is basically like a gnome in the shape of a child who's our tank and is just running and hitting things with this big greatsword. It's hilarious and it will never not make me laugh every time.
Yeah. So, easy question.
Yeah.
All hail the Leisure Illuminati.
Hail.
Hail indeed. I am Randall James, and you'll find me at amateurjack.com and on Twitter and Instagram at jackamateur.
I'm Tyler Campbell. You'll find me on RPGBOT.net cooking up some stuff. What?
It sounded like you said that we would farm you.
Well, look, if you want to farm me on RPGBOT.net, sure. Also, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, RPGBOT.Net, most other socials as RPGBot.
And I'm Ash Eli. You can follow me on Twitter, cooking stuff up for my next games at Graven Ashes. If you want me to cook up a nice, cool campaign for you and your group, nice little spices added to it, you can find me on startplaying.game, link in the description. I currently have 2 open game slots for the same game. It's called Strength of Thousands. It's the adventure path from Paizo, where you're in a Hogwarts-style magic academy and an African analog. I have one on Sundays at 1 o'clock Pacific time and one on Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So check those out.
Link in the description. You can click it and you could play a game with Ash. All right, let's see if we can put together a little meal. Like what I want to tie together here, we need to make a recipe. And the recipe that we need to make is a recipe for growing this podcast. So Ash, I'm going to turn to you first. What's the number one ingredient that folks can help us bring to grow this podcast?
Hold on. Hey, Ash. Hey, everybody. It's Ash today. We're going to be cooking up a nice outro for RPGBot. A little bit of Soussan de Francais, you know what I mean? So, I don't know if everybody can hear me because of this bit that I'm doing.
Barely.
I think what Ash is really trying to say is, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, rate us on Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. It's a great way to support us, helps us reach new listeners.
Don't forget to add a little bit of kosher salt.
Apple Podcasts, the most flavorful of the podcast apps.
Nom, 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 nom. We mentioned several books. Affiliate links are really helpful. It helps us to keep doing the show every week. If you have a question of the week, you can email us at podcast@rpgbot.net or Twitter, RPGBOT.Net. Please also consider supporting us on Patreon. There's all kinds of tiers, all kinds of great rewards. Some of those things are ad-free podcast episodes and the ability to listen to live podcast recordings. Some of these things are ad-free access to RPGBot.net. You'll find us at patreon.com/RPGBot. Want a cool shirt? A sticker? RPGBot.store.
You get a cool sticker and put it on the side of your, don't put it on the side of your cooking pans. That's what I was about to say.
That is what you were going to say, wasn't it? Yeah. But put it on the side of your chef's knife. That's the obvious place.
Maybe not. Maybe not there.
Honestly, no stickers in the kitchen. That's where we're getting to.
Like maybe at the side of a nice water bottle, back of a laptop, on a person. Like
on a person. All right,
I don't know if the stickers are dishwasher safe. I don't know.
I have a question for you, gentlemen. Did either of you get what bit I was going for there?
The standing up and waving your hands while, I'm sure there's YouTube people who do that where you only see them.
It's Binging with Babish. You guys have never watched Binge?
Oh, no,
not one
episode. I don't even know what you're talking about. He's one of
the most popular cooking channels on YouTube, and
is this the dude who stares at you smiling?
No.
Okay, never mind.
He recreates dishes from pop culture, from shows, and he did a SpongeBob thing. He recreated cannolis from The Godfather, stuff like that. But yeah, he always introduces his videos. His head is out of frame. You can just see the lower half of his body, and he's gesturing with his hands as he brings out the cooking stuff and just cooks it. And he always mentions, we're going to do a little pinch of kosher salt right there.
Okay. I do. In that case, it's funny, and I agree with you.
I felt there was like a 50-50 shot that you guys had no idea that what I was doing.
It's fine. It's like it'll be really funny when I get around to doing the video clips for the podcast.
Yeah, sure. Fair enough.
The only pop culture that I get to absorb is basically with you folks twice a week.
You're an old man.
You have no idea.